Hey everyone, welcome back to the Makeup Chair. Today I'm going to talk you guys through how to actually pick up products with your brushes. Last week I actually showed you guys how to hold the brushes, and the next step is actually how you pick up the product, and it can make such a massive difference because using your brushes in the wrong way will actually damage them. So we have flat brushes versus fluffy brushes. So flat brushes, I typically would recommend using them to actually apply the product onto the face, and then use your fluffy brushes to buff and blend it out. So for instance, with a flat foundation brush, you want to apply the foundation in the back of the hand, and you want to very lightly sweep around the edges, working into the product, and then sweep this over the skin. Now this is great for dry skin in particular because it'll make sure all those little dry patches are lying flat against the skin, or if you have little hairs on your skin as well, it's a great technique to use. And you want to keep doing the same routine of picking up a little bit around the edges as you work through the foundation, applying it all over the skin. Then take your blending brush and buff it in. However, if you have dry skin, you want to actually do stiff line techniques instead, using a flat topped brush. But for everybody else, you can use round, flat, whatever type to buff that in. You can also use a damp sponge if you prefer. I also typically apply the primer first, and then I apply the foundation with the same brush, and I just find that it works really well with the skin. So that's typically what I do on clients. And the same goes for flat eyeshadow brushes. Basically what you want to do is to press them into the eyeshadow, a little bit of pressure, a little bit of a wiggle to really pick up that product, and then I start to press this over the skin anywhere where I want that full coverage. Then I take my blending brush and sweep around. Now you can use your blending brush to apply your foundation and to actually apply eyeshadow. You're just going to use it in a slightly different way. So when you're using a fluffy brush or anything with a little bit of movement in the brush head, you just want to make sure that that foundation is nice and smooth. So you want to flatten it. You never want to get foundation deep into the bristles because this will clog up the brush and you won't get that nice movement. So what you want to do is to flatten out that foundation, dip the very tip of the bristles into the product just to coat the top, and then you can buff this over the skin, and this will give you a nice sheer finish. Same goes for blending brushes when you're applying your eyeshadow. What I don't like seeing, and I don't like doing myself, is to use the blending brush and sweep it around the product, because all this does is add kickback, it adds fallout, it's just going to apply it everywhere. So if you are using a blending brush just to go maybe around the edges or for like a sheer wash, what you want to do is to very lightly dip it into the product. Don't try and get like a load of product on the brush at the same time and then kind of get it all over your skin. It's not going to work. Fluffy brushes are there for blending, for giving that airbrush soft effect, not for full on coverage or packing on the eyeshadow. Also, the brushes that I would recommend are synthetic over natural hairs, because synthetic can be used with creams, liquids, gels, powders, whereas you can only use natural hair ones with powders because otherwise they clog up the brush. Definitely leave a comment because I'm going to try to apply to as many people who have questions as possible, or even create a video on them. So I will see you guys on Friday before then, but check back next Monday for a Monday makeup lesson, and I will see you then. Bye guys.